Nicola, dude. I said build domestic. Welcome back, my fellow duplicants. Today we've got some base improvements going in, and one of the main ones that I'm going to be covering here is power. So in the last episode, we worked on this steam turbine right down here, and we've also worked on some other equipment in the past. So essentially, I have a large 20 kilowatt wire right down here that's running from the left side of my base to the right side, but I want to also feed kind of the center of my base here using that 20 kilowatt wire. So in order to do that, I need to bring it into here, and then I can rewire this thing, but wiring is not all that exciting, so I'm going to cover some other upgrades as well today, because the main idea of what I'm trying to do here is bringing power and also do other things in other locations. So we have a little bit of a power system over here that we're running. We also have metal refining down here, which sometimes is going to be positive and other times it's not. And there's also some improvements that we can make to this natural gas geyser. So let's start with the power real quick. I've marked out more or less where the center of my base is, so I'm going to go ahead and take some of my lead here, and that's where I'm going to bring in this heavy wire. It's just going to go straight up here into this area. I'll get rid of this equipment down here and do kind of a power transformer offshoot, just like this, the Power T, which just really does look cool, doesn't it? Yeah, exactly. That's why we're going to build another one of those right down here. Oh, here's one of the other improvements that I'm making here. I'm going to take this cooling wire here, and I'm just going to move it up just a little bit. So the idea that I had down here was to have a combination of two different types of plants here, so that I could throw any sort of Dreco I want inside of here. So I'd have mealwood on the bottom and pinch of pepper on the top. Now the thing is that pinch of pepper likes to have the temperature of 35 to 85 degrees Celsius, whereas mealwood likes to have it from 10 to 30, so they don't necessarily agree with each other. However, up here I have compost, and that compost actually puts out a little bit of heat. So if you take a look at the overlay, what we should see is that up top here, we're right around 45 degrees Celsius, but this pipe is right around 13 degrees. So if I can bring that pipe right through here, there's a good chance I can cool that mealwood to the temperature that it's going to enjoy, while maintaining enough heat right up here to grow the pinch of pepper plant. That's the idea. Maybe it'll happen, maybe it won't, but we'll see. All right, so another upgrade that I'm trying to put into the base here is I'm going to try to activate these two gas pumps. We're at the point here where I'm expanding the amount of Atmosuit ducts a lot. I have a lot more of those that are going in. And the idea is that I really want to have more of them, so that'd be like right here, and then on this side and this side. Well, maybe not both of those, but maybe one right there. The point is I need to get a lot of oxygen to where it needs to go. And just having two pumps that's trying to run all of this is just not going to work. The other thing I'm doing inside of here is I'm changing where I'm cooling the oxygen. So in the past, I was running it through this granite tile, which is great because it kind of helps radiant cool all of the equipment inside of here. And it also passes oxygen through that same tile, so it comes out really cool on the other side, about 10 degrees Celsius. If we take a look at the temperature overlay, you can see how well that's actually working currently. However, that does take up a fair bit of space, and there's a really good chance in my mind that we're just going to get rid of all of this equipment in here and move it to a different location. That way I can build this place into the palace that I want it to be, so we can have large mess rooms and large recreation rooms and bigger bedrooms and all of that good stuff. So one thing that will help here is if we can cool that oxygen without having to run it through a tile. So just cooling it right here usually is a good idea. So I'll combine up that gas, but this time this gas is going to run over here first. And I'm also going to reroute this liquid so that it cools inside of here, which means all I have to do is get rid of this one tile and then I can change it. So I'm still going to use the aluminum radiant pipes, and that's just going to be right here. And I'm still going to keep all of this here for now. It's not like I'm going to rip all of this stuff out today. That's not going to happen. But there we go. Boom, just kind of rework it just like that. The system on the right will eventually actually be a power generator for the base. So I don't necessarily think I need to do a whole lot to power it, because I'm thinking we have a volcano right here, and there's a good, I could easily hook that volcano into the same loop and pull some power out of that, just kind of like we did in the last episode. Maybe, I don't know. That's the thoughts that I have going on there. If there's one thing that my base seems to have a whole lot of right now, that is gas. Lots and lots of natural gas. You can see that this is flowing all the way from the right over here to the left, and my pipes are all constipated. So what is happening here is I just have too much natural gas and nothing to do with all of it. So what I want to do is to start to store this in a compressed way. Now there's a couple different ways that we can do this. We can use a gas reservoir to kind of store it up, but that ends up still taking up a lot of space. Another common way to do this is if we were to take like a high pressure vent and actually dip it in some liquid like that, and it just kind of bubbles out beyond the liquid and pressurizes a room. I'm not a big fan of that method. So the piece of equipment that I'm going to use here so that this thing does not just sit here and continue to say that it's overpressured is I'm going to use a door compressor. Now, I've set this up in a couple of my different bases, but I've refined this into a nice little blueprint, and we're going to slap that down right here. So it's going to take my dupes a little bit to build this thing up, so we'll come back to this in just a minute. All right, so looking back at our oxygen system here, you can see that the liquid that's running through here is going through a radiant pipe. It's all like 10 degrees Celsius, and therefore the temperature in this area, is much, much cooler now. Therefore, the gas that's being piped out of here is coming out at a nice 20 degrees Celsius. Perfect. That's exactly what we wanted to see. All right, so focusing back on the power, you can see that that's where it's going to flow in, and it's going to be right in this area. So, excuse me, who's on fire? Kenzilla, of course. Dude, you know you don't have to run on this stuff anymore. We could just turn it off. All right, so I'm going to bring that power in right here. We're probably just going to keep this all of an airflow tile, I would think. Just like so. And then we can deconstruct these buildings right there. We don't need that. Probably want to throw a ladder in there so that my dupes don't get stuck for at least right now. Haha! There you go. What priority did I make that? Oh, only 5 actually. Oh, okay, good. Good job, dupes. So then I can bring this power in right here. Boom! Just like that. And there we have it. Power will just flow into this area. And we can hook this stuff up just like that. Boom. Not even a problem. Get rid of all of this wire. I don't need this wire anymore. Low watt crap. Get out of my base. Oh yeah, check that out. Ooh. Yes. Okay, so this looks pretty cool. I like it. We'll bring the big power in right through the middle like that, and then we're going to tee it up. And then I have 2 conductive wires and 2 regular wires right there for a total of 6,000 watts that I can run right off of this big wire right there into my main base, which should be more than enough for all of the stuff I have in here, which isn't really, you know, I haven't really blown up any wires yet, even though I have some of this stuff hooked up to like 5,000 watts. It's kind of crazy. But it just doesn't run very frequently, and I do have power transformers, which is kind of the key. But we'll get rid of this spider web that I have going on here and kind of reorganize it, make it real nice. So to feed all of these power wires, I've had to go and dig up a little bit more resources over here. So I'm definitely using a lot of lead because I don't have to refine it. It's just available in these oil biomes that I'm finding over here on the side. I'm also digging up the copper ore over here, so like I can use that for the regular wires. This map has a lot of copper ore in it. If you stop and kind of look around, it's like bam, big chunk of copper ore. Bam, another big chunk of copper ore. So I'm trying to use a lot of copper ore and copper in my designs now. Looks like the gas is like too crazy in here for this little pit. That little bit of food right there went bad because natural gas like must have crushed whatever carbon dioxide was in there. So I think I'll just throw a refrigerator in there and hook it up to the power. All right, so it's time for a new duplicate, and boom! Duckless, welcome to the base here. You can see that we have improved ranching and caregiving, which is excellent to be able to really care for critters and my duplicates that are spontaneously combusting all the time. However, this duplicate is anemic, so it's gonna be a little bit slow. At first, at least. Welcome to the base, Duckless. And thank you so much for being a Patreon supporter. Oh, look at how slow this poor guy is. Oh. All right, let's make sure we have the correct schedule for this guy. Oof, there's way too many on that schedule. You go ahead and take the early bird shift. There you go. What's that, Duckless? We don't have a bed for you? Well, that is easy enough to correct. We could just get rid of one of these cots up here. It's probably quite blood-stained by now. We probably need to change the sheets regardless. Kenzilla. Hey, there you go. Oh, you know what? We don't even have a doctor, do we? We have 0 people with doctoring skills. Oh, never mind. That's right. We have Dr. Fuzzbutt here. Well, you and Dr. Fuzzbutt will kind of work the same jobs, just different shifts. Let's make sure I have that set up correctly. Well, if they're on the same shift, that doesn't work. All right, let's move them. Better. All right, Dr. Duckless, this is not the most amazing barracks, but you know what? You have your own personal gas vent. I mean, think about that. That has to count for something. Okay, so food here is kind of interesting. What I'm hoping is that these critters start to die out. That would be nice if some of them were to age out and turn into barbecue. We could recycle them, but what I'd like... See, here's the weird part here. They're all cramped at this point. So I'm not going to get any eggs out of that. Here we go. So I'm going to try to plant these pinch of pepper plants from right to left up here. See if I can get this pip to do its thing. Come on, buddy, you can do it. Get rid of all the mealwood and everything up top. So you know what you need to do. And you already have the pinch of pepper seed right there. Come on, Pip. You can do it. Okay, so you can see that I'm drowning in crude oil over here. It's just about to overflow and cause a whole lot of problems. So I guess what I need to do here is just to set a limit and then plug that limit into the oil well up top so that I don't flood this area. Okay, so in addition to that, I do need to pipe some of this liquid out. Oh no, duckless. Nope, don't go in the mechanized airlock. Ah, we're going to have to put some door restrictions on this guy. It's the patented lure to defense system. Ha, good job, Pip. That's how you do it. That's one down. One more to go. What are the temperatures looking like in here? They're getting close. 33. We'll see. Ooh, lucky me. I actually have some Buddy Bud seeds now. So what Buddy Bud seeds do is they'll actually put floral scents into the air. You can see it in the germ overlay. And that will give your duplicates a nice little boost, a morale boost. Unless they're allergic to it, and then they won't be boosted at all. But it's a real nice thing to have. So what I'm going to do is actually get rid of this little cactus right here. And if I put it in this area, then all my duplicates, every time they go to eat, they'll be in this area and they will actually get a nice morale boost. So the other thing that a Buddy Bud will do is that it will fight germs that are in the air. All right, so you see this here? Look at all of that floral scents just blowing around. And whenever a duplicate runs through that, you'll see that they'll get a nice morale boost. So Kenzilla just ran through here, and you can see the smelled flowers is a minus 5% per cycle right there, which is good. Even though his ears were popped because I'm not sure where he went. There's some spots of high pressure around here, I guess. Probably somewhere in this area. I'm not sure. Let's find out. Nope, not sure where that came from. No, Duckless! Don't! Why'd you go over here, man? Oh, no, he found a way out. This poor guy, and he's now fried. Dupes, you shouldn't be going through this door. This actually became really hot over here. A lot of the heat down here that was in this obsidian spread into the algae and everything in this area, so it's like 90 degrees. Oh, look at poor Duckless. This is normal speed. Oh! What is your athletics at the moment? Minus 10, minus 100% run speed. All you can do is hobble back. Well, at least we got our daily dose of freshly fried dupe. Ooh, there we go. Finally got that power hooked up. So now, if we could just finish that, I can route this power out of there and get it into the rest of my base. All right, so I've resorted to using just a good old pitcher pump here just to move that crude oil over to this location over here and start to fill up these metal refineries. I was running a pipe, but that pipe is just taking a long time to be constructed. I've got a lot of different build commands right now, and they are trying to go through these atmosphere docks right now. So, yeah, it's actually going a lot faster when I do this. Of course, that being said, that stuff is not enabled, so it isn't running. Hey, and my dupes aren't building this thing. Come on, dupes. Yeah, there we go. That's what I wanted to see. All right, so I've got the power feeding into this area. Now I gotta wire it to where it needs to go. What I'm running is a nice conductive wire all the way up here to this thing. I may not keep that there for the long run, but at least I'm running the wire. As far as all of this other equipment in here, it's kind of all light stuff, so I'll probably just replace some of it. I'll start with the docks down here and then kind of go from that point. Haha, look at that. 3 pinch of pepper plants. Good job, Bad Pip. Once I get some more seeds, I'll be able to plant ones right there. Now, if we can only get the temperature down low enough to actually grow this mealwood. And it's currently 33 degrees, so it's a little bit too hot. Aha, there we go. Finally completed one of the big 3 pipelines. So we can see that is now going to start to export crude oil. Excellent. Now, I don't necessarily need to export crude oil indefinitely over here to the left. But what I do need to have is a good amount of it on hand in order to fill up these metal refineries. I've got 3 built, and I'll have 3 more, so I want to make sure I have some crude oil over here on the left. So you can see that is just running right there. So one of the other things I wanted to do is turn this into a liquid lock. So what I'm going to do here, using a really, really high priority, is I'm going to just enable a little bit liquid vent right here, and that should create a liquid lock in this area. But hopefully I can deconstruct it real quick. Meep's done it. Now I would actually do like a bottle emptier and all of that, but I can't place down the tiles I have now because I put the big old heavy wire behind it, so I can't build anything in that spot. So that's what I'm using the liquid vent for. So we'll run for just a moment. Then I want Pancake King to move back, and we're going to deconstruct. There we go, deconstruct it. Ha! Okay, good deal. So now we could just leave those doors open. Hey, look at my dupes. They're now running the metal refineries. Excellent. Val's got this one. Good job, dupes. That's what I like to see. All right, so I'm going to build my last 2 metal refineries now. So let's go ahead and just kind of copy this stuff over. Sort of. There we go. If we copy that, boom, there we go. Excellent. Now I think I have a blueprint for this somewhere. Let's go with that and see what happens. And then just cancel a bunch of the automation here. We don't need that exactly. We need this one. Boom. All right, so if I take what I have here, I want to have the reset. So then I could take the reset, boom, just like that, like that. Oh, what's going on with these liquid pipes? Yeah, no, don't do any of that. There we go, that's one way to fill it. Wait, who's incapacitated? Ducklas, no! Somebody help him out. This poor guy's having a rough introduction to my base. Yeah, you gotta watch out for the rest of that. See, kitty, give me some positive support. There you go. Meanwhile, she's starving. Wait a minute. I don't want all of this over here. Ah, crap. No! My bad, building everything backwards again. Okay, what I want is all of this stuff. That was the plan. So that puts that there, and that puts that there. Okay, so just a small amount of chaos going on here, but that's all right, we'll figure it out. Hopefully you guys have had a good week here. It's Friday, so hopefully you guys enjoy the weekend. I'm looking forward to it. Actually looks like the weather's gonna be nice. It's been kind of rainy all week, actually. A lot of storms and stuff like that. All right, so there we go. We got a lot of stuff plugged in. We can go like that. Aha! Now we're talking. And then I'll put this liquid tank right over here, which means it's pretty close to being in line with this one. And it's all set. And all of these systems are enter on the right, inventory on the left. So right to left. That was the reason I had to flip this one here, because it was kind of set up to where a duplicate would come up the middle and then either go to the left or right. I was thinking symmetry, but that's not what is happening here. The duplicates actually come in on the right. There we go. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and pump in some good amount of crude oil to all of this stuff. And while I'm doing that, I'll try to figure out the rest of this piping. Oh my. This pipe here goes into there like that. And then it returns down. So I'm doing iron on the left. I could do steel over here. This one down below needs to be gold, which means I have copper and aluminum also covered. Nice, so I could do all of those. And I suppose there's room if I wanted to do a 6th, I could probably figure that out, but I don't think I have a need for that right now. See, they're running down here. Nice, look at this. Ta-da. All right, I'm trying to bring in a lot of crude oil from the right to the left because I kind of overfilled this, which means I don't ever really run anything up there, which means the carbon dioxide for these slicksters does not end up down here. There sure does seem to be a lot of critters running around. Let's see how many I have. All right, so it looks like we definitely peaked out here at 190 something. So that was 192 right there. Then we've kind of dropped down to a more steady state of 171. All right, so my thoughts here on the pip experiment. I think it's interesting. There's a lot of pips running all over my base. But the thing is, they reached a point here where they're cramped, and that probably has something mostly to do with just how my base is kind of this weird shape and it's kind of closed in. I think a larger, bigger box space, kind of like it did in the past where you have thousands and thousands of open tiles, would allow you to build up tons and tons of critters, probably to the point where, they would be able to survive for a while. Right now they end up cramped, which means that they don't reproduce, which really, I think, undermines the whole idea of having these critters run around outside. The idea is that they would, essentially become a baby for about 5 cycles, and then at about cycle 55 or so, they would actually reproduce an egg, which would double the amount of meat that you would get out of one single egg that's coming out of here. At least that's the idea. But that doesn't seem to be happening all that often here in the base. Ooh, a snazzy suit. Nice! Where you at, Meep? Come grab your fancy snazzy suit. Ta-da! Ooh, he likes it. That was a completely biased choice, by the way. Ren would have been the correct duplicate to give that to. But let's face it, I play favorites with Meep. Okay, so I have all the crude oil over here. Let's see how much we were able to take in. A fair bit. All right, there we go. Used my plumber to clear out all of the pipes there and was able to deconstruct all of them. So now just to figure out how to run all of this stuff again. All right, that's one. Now we flow out and go to here. All right, not bad. Okay, good, that'll work. There we go, that'll work. So that should be it for all of the plumbing, unless I did something wrong, but I think it looks right. There's a few tiles left open, so maybe I did something wrong. All right, so that covers the equipment, but now we gotta decorate it up, make it look fancy. Let's see what gold amalgam looks like when we build it. Ooh, yeah, it's gold. There's no way a metal refinery can't have wallpaper made of metal. Oh yeah, that's fancy. Of course, it wouldn't be a workplace unless we had some place to kind of chill, eat some food, you know, a little clock down there just to let you know what time it is. Maybe a whiteboard. Ooh, and can we do light bulbs? Of course we could do light bulbs. I would almost say light bulbs is absolutely critical to our working environment because it gives us a bonus. To work speed. Ooh, this is starting to look pretty cool. Okay, so one of the other things I'm going to do here is use a little power transformer and a battery backup. This will run this little ceiling lamp inside of here, which is actually a mess hall. This guy's just kind of like a break room. And that will also run these little liquid shutoffs as well. So the battery backup is going to take care of all of that. That way I take, you know, I separate the grid from this thermal aqua tuner and everything else. Kenzilla, why are you emptying the pipes? We don't need to empty those pipes. Please stop. I don't know where that command came from. It's a mystery to me. Ooh, okay, so this is starting to look good. I've got this nice pocket of oxygen up there. Perfect, right around 40 degrees Celsius. And then I've all of this carbon dioxide right down here. But it's just not cool enough, or at least not cool enough just yet. So let's replace some of that with a radiant pipe. Ooh, and see how that works. And we don't need a bunch of pips down here. Pips, you can go away. All right, so I let the game run for a few cycles here while I was editing the video in the background, and we completed many more of these tasks that I was looking to do. So first off, the ranch is actually up and running now. Once I changed that to a radiant pipe, you can see that the temperatures down here are now low enough to run mealwood. So we got the pinch of pepper plants on top and mealwood on the bottom. So you can see a Dreco here. Loves his pinch of pepper plant and loves his mealwood. And if we take a look at the glossy Dreco here, it will also eat mealwood. So, bam, I should be able to handle both Drecos in the same location, except for this up here, I guess should be hydrogen, shouldn't it? That way the scale growth would increase. Okay, so there's still something to do here. As far as the power, I was able to bring that heavy watt into here, so you can see how that's running. And I'm just kind of finishing up a few of the wires there. So mostly I just ran the conductive wires in the wall for a little bit. I haven't replaced a lot of the wires that I already have in my base, mostly because I don't want to take this thing offline just yet until I know exactly what I'm going to do. I did add this virtual planetarium up here to the research center. Pretty fancy. And we also have another cot over here if I wanted to move a duplicate to this location. For the most part, that's all that's happened up here. One of the next objectives I need to focus on here is taking the petroleum out of this biome here and then moving it to this biome up top here where I'm going to do a lot of my plastic production. So I'm going to have to do a little bit of temperature control. I think some fun ideas with waterfalls is what people were talking about, and I think that's pretty cool. I think we might give that a try, just so I can really crank out a lot of plastic. And that will help me control the amount of resources I have so that I don't end up getting buried in oil or whatever. So I was finally able to finish up this metal refinery, and because of that I was able to get a lot of these metal resources, which allows me to run something like this door compressor down here. So this will open up and actually take in a lot of this natural gas. So let's go ahead and dig that out and I'll show you exactly how it works. Right now it's just open to the bottom because I want to flush out any of that polluted oxygen we might have in here. Okay, so you can see here that the natural gas is now starting to flow, and this automation signal is really quite precise in that it goes to a buffer, filter, buffer, not, and then we have a filter on both of those, and everything here is set to 1 second. Then I have an AND gate that just runs to a switch, so if I wanted to turn this off, I could turn it off and the doors remain closed in the off position. But essentially what we're doing here is, if you take a look at the gas, you can see it opens it up the two doors. That creates a low pressure zone. The gas flows down, and then the first door closes while this last door opens, and then the middle door closes and pushes that gas down. And just so you're aware, a system like this only works well if it's dealing with one single type of gas. If you have multiple types of gas inside of here, it doesn't really do as well. So I definitely want to get that polluted oxygen out of there. And not run it to the natural gas generator, please. That would not be good. Okay, so that's kind of a problem here. I have a little bit of slime that's off, potentially off gas in there. So let me just make sure I sweep that up. Okay, so I'm just going to turn that off for a little bit. Go down there, flip it, and you'll see the doors will be closed. There we go. That'll just pull a vacuum down there. I'm going to use this pump here just to get all of the gas out of this area. And we'll kind of just cap it off here real quick. Just take care of this once and for all, so it's all just finished. Okay, dupes, don't go in there. You can see that this is now down to 3 grams or whatever. Oh crap, what happened? Is this the natural gas geyser is dormant. Game, you're making my example so easy today. Come on, dupes. It's the last thing we need to do today. Alright, so that should be enough. It's almost a vacuum there. Alright, so there we go. There we go. Now it's all natural gas in there. All I did is get that polluted oxygen pressure really, really low. And these things will fill up, and then that'll stop it. Unless I can unplug it. There we go, I can unplug it. That'll work. But now I should be able to turn this thing on here, and that should compress the gas right down there. Aha! There we go. Do that, flick the switch. Boom. Of course, now it's pumping out too, but what we should see here is that we're going to see this pressure go up and up and up. So you can see we're up to 3 kilograms right now. There we go. Now we're up to 4. Now we're passing 5, just like that. We should see that more natural gas gets to flow in through this pipe as it shows up. Here. I'll do this number. So you can see down there, boom, 10 kilograms, 11, 12. It just keeps going up and up and up. So yeah, that's how that door compressor works, and it's pretty handy. So now I'll be able to store more natural gas than just what we can fit in that volume alone. So when you combine that with the automated metal refinery and some power distribution and other small upgrades, I think this was a pretty successful little episode of Oxygen Not Included. Hope you guys have enjoyed it, and if this looks like the channel for you, maybe consider hitting that subscribe button. As always, thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day. Stay awesome. Peace. Brothgar out.